Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Evolution Now podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Terrance Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me, as always. I just want to thank everyone for all the likes, the comments, the shares, the follows. Yo, we're over 15 million views right now, which is incredible. We just passed 71,000 followers. For all intents and purposes, I guess we're doing a wonderful job. I could not do it without your support. We're looking to achieve the next goal of 100,000 followers as we continue to bring this information. And from all the comments and all of those things, we see that it's really helping people. So, hey, I thank you for that. But we're going to jump right into it today. We got a lot to go over. I'm in the studio always with my faithful colleague, Gus. You guys never get to see him in the background, but he's the one who asked the questions that we come up with. So we're going to get started and get right into it. I hope you enjoy this podcast, and let's go. Gus, what you got?
First up, we have the question, why is it so hard for people to change?
Why is it so hard for people to change? You know, I mentor quite a few people in business and in personal matters, marriage, business, finance, all that type of stuff. And there seems to be a common problem. Most people are wanting something different without doing something different. Why is it so difficult to change? Because it's simple. Most people enjoy staying in their comfort zone. It is very difficult for your life to change if you're unwilling to change. It's sort of an oxymoron, if you will. But many people will hold on to this ideology and struggle throughout the process, not ever really truly realizing that they're their own impediment, if you will. When you understand the power in which you possess in your mind to do whatever it is you need to do, the fact of the matter is usually just you stopping you from doing what needs to be done. I know I said a lot there, but the fact of the matter is the concept of change is simple. However, changing is not. We form habits and patterns in the way we think and what we do. And whenever we find something that disrupts that, it becomes very difficult or challenging for us to make the next step. So let me give you some common points or things that you can do to actually change. First, decide. You must make your mind up that whatever you need to change, you just don't want to do it anymore. I used to smoke Newports back in the day. You smoke a pack of cigarettes, you know what it is. I don't go into great detail, but I used to smoke cigarettes. And I had to get to the point where I was tired of smoking. It was just that simple. I had to, no matter what my wife said, my daughter told me, my friends, colleagues, hey, it's not healthy, even though it's right there on the pack. Smoking cigarettes can cause lung cancer, emphysema, low birth weight, blah, blah, blah. But people still buy them, even though they know technically they're killing themselves. But because they developed a habit, not just physically, but also mentally and psychologically, it has a hold on them or a strong hold on them. However, though, how did I do it? I got to the point where I just got tired of smoking, the smelling your clothes and things of that nature. So what am I trying to say to you? Whether you're struggling with an addiction from cigarettes, overeating, watching too much TV, not exercising properly, not having a fulfilled relationship with your loved ones or the people you care about, you can actually truly fix all that. But the first thing you have to do is fix yourself. Remember, you cannot give to someone else something you do not possess. You cannot give funds you don't have. You can't give a knowledge in which you don't hold. Why is it difficult for us to change? I will say this. It is as difficult as you are unwilling to change. But change can be relatively easy if you're willing to do so. So listen, for all of you out there who need to change, take the appropriate steps. And when you fall, because you will stumble along the way, brush yourself off, get back up, and do what the fuck you're supposed to do. Change. Hope it helps.
All right, the next question is my personal favorite of this batch today, but why is it easier for people to do dumb things than the right thing?
It is easier for people to do dumb things than the right thing because the right thing requires effort. It requires no effort to do a dumb thing. It really does. And I want you to think, what do you mean by a dumb thing? If you are having unprotected sex out here in the world and you get a woman pregnant and you're not in love with that woman, that's a dumb thing. That's just stupid. I don't give a damn how anybody slices it. You's a dummy. You's a straight dummy. That's right, I said it. You being dumb. If you are a woman and you allow a man to penetrate you and this man has no commitment to you whatsoever, and then you wind up becoming pregnant by this man, and now you're faced with all the challenges and difficulties that come along with that dumb decision, you's a dummy. You see, a lot of times, unfortunately, we reward bad behavior in our society. We reward bad behavior. We reward bad behavior. It's just that simple. When we do wrong, there needs to be consequences for the things that you do. But unfortunately, the word of the day is accountability. And whether it be men or women, no one likes to be held accountable. But let me surmise this to you. You will never have to be held accountable for doing the right thing the right way. Unfortunately, many people choose to do the dumb thing. If you are a 16 or 17-year-old person and you drop out of high school, no matter what they tell you, that's a dumb thing. If you choose to be irresponsible with your finances and you mess your credit score up, knowing the relevance and importance of having a good credit score, that's a dumb thing. If you are a parent and you put your credit cards in your children's name, that's a dumb thing. If you continuously show up late for work and get fired, and you know you have financial and fiduciary obligations that you must meet every 30 days, but you lack the discipline and the wherewithal to go to bed early so you can get up on time and go to work, you, my friend, are just a dummy. And unfortunately, it might not be a popular term for people, but when you think about it, most of the challenges and the difficulties that we have in our life, it is brought upon ourselves by us making the wrong or a dumb decision. So listen, stop being dumb. Next question.
That was a great answer.
Stop being dumb. Stop doing dumb shit. You don't do dumb shit won't happen to you. You do dumb shit, you're going to have to deal with some dumb shit. There it is. All right, next question.
We've had a lot of people write in thanking you for all of the marriage questions. And do you have any more tips for marriage?
You know, I've married 32 years, and we did a post for Men's Mental Health Month, and it got a huge amount of comments and shares. And what I want to tell people, in today's society, should you get married? You know, I don't want to sound hypocritical because I am a married man, but given the current state of the world and the challenges that are being faced here for both men and women in the United States, it makes it very, very almost like a bad investment to join a union. But I tend to believe when I listen to my clients and the information that's available, I hear all of these circumstances and situations, but no one ever talks about love. And I wanted to express that for a moment. Why did I get married? It is simple. I'm in love with my wife. I won't say I was in love. I'm still in love with my wife. But at the time, I'm 26 years old. It's been 30 years my wife and I have been together. And I was in love with this woman, and obviously she was in love with me. If you put money over love, you will probably always be lonely. Even if you got somebody with you, because you never really know if they love you for you or for what you can do for them. The whole ideology that men and women do not need each other is not only a falsehood, it is a narrative created to destroy you. You see, when you are by yourself, you're more apt to be preyed upon, both men and women. But together, you can accomplish great things. The whole narrative that's being promoted into society is that you don't need each other. This by itself is not only a lie, it goes against the total level of common sense, if you will, of us being people. What tips do I have for you if you want to have a long, productive relationship? It is simple. You must find someone that really loves you. And there is a challenge in that. I don't want to be naive when I say that. I'm not naive. I see what's going on. I know a lot of chicks running games. I know a lot of chicks trying to get a bag from a dude or pay all my bills, this, that, and the third. Dudes like, hey, let's go 50-50, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. What I will say to you is this. You have to find someone that's vibrating on your frequency where you guys can build a life together and hopefully have something in common to where it leads to a commitment, marriage, family, children, you know, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But if it doesn't and you're out here being a whoremonger, putting your dick in everything that moves, spreading your legs for everything that moves. Yo, I just saw a report in Houston with the STDs and the gonorrhea and the syphilis and the HIV. Yo, we out of fucking control, man. I'm just going to tell you straight. And again, that's some dumb shit. When you do dumb shit, having sex unprotected with people you really don't know, be prepared to get warts on your ass. Be prepared for pus to come out your dick. Just be prepared for the shit. Be prepared to take a bunch of medications because you fucking someone you don't know because you lack the mental and emotional fortitude to be a disciplined young adult. You'd rather put your dick or spread your legs to someone you don't even know, don't know them from a can to paint for 20 to 30 minutes of pleasure for a lifetime of pain. So, what does that have to do with marriage? Why would anyone want to marry a whoremonger, both men and women? Okay, I hope that helps. And I hope that you take what I'm saying seriously. I know I said it in jest, but I want you to think about it. You only get one life. Live it wisely. What else we got?
This one's a short and sweet question. Why do so many people struggle?
Why do so many people struggle? Most people struggle, believe it or not, is because they lack confidence in themselves. They lack confidence in themselves. Most people look for, how can I say this, some type of validation from other people. You heard it done many, many times before. They'll ask you, hey, what do you think? Many times my clients or my mentees would ask me, Mr. Johnson, what do you think? And I would look at them with a stern look and say, what do I think? It's your life. The question is, what do you think? And this is the problem with most people. If you're not thinking appropriately or making good sound decisions for whatever it is you're trying to do, you're going to find yourself in some issues. Now, there is safety in the counsel of others. I'm not saying do not seek out advice, but ultimately it's your life and you're the one that's going to have to make that decision. So with that being said, why is it so hard for people to change? One or two reasons. One, they don't want to change. They don't want to change. I know plenty of my clients that just refuse to change. They just won't change. And two, if it's not that they don't want to change, they don't know how to change. And usually when you have to change something, it requires a certain level of disruption in your life. Most of the times, it's just blockages in the mind. Your mind is so strong and so powerful, but it also can be your greatest detriment, if you will. It could deceive you a lot of times and to get you to believe that whatever it is you're needing to do, you can't do it. But this is the farthest thing from the truth. The fact of the matter is simple. You are a mind, you are a spirit, you are a soul. You are a living being. The question is, whatever I need to change, how do I go about doing it? Well, it is simple. Ask for help. Seek out help. But ultimately, in seeking out the help, it is you who decides what type of help to receive. So again, why is it hard for people to change? Because they just don't want to come out of their comfort zone. It's like a warm blanket. When you're laying in the bed on Sunday and you don't want to get up, even though you know you have to. Such is life. I hope that makes sense.
On a related note, why is it so hard for people to love themselves?
Well, why people don't love themselves, I think the advent of social media plays a huge part in that. People always judge themselves based off others. You know, if you see people, just flashing money or big mansions and beautiful cars or expensive purses, and it makes, I guess, to a certain extent, it makes people feel, I don't have that, I would love that, and they compare themselves to other people. When you compare yourselves to other people, you rob yourself of your own joy. And most people, unfortunately, are never taught to love themselves. I'll give you an example. When I was a young man, I was told never put your hands on a woman, open the door for her, blah, 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 that type of shit, right? But no one's ever telling a girl how to treat a man. She's never taught on how to treat a man. A man is always taught on how to treat this woman. We see 30 years later, this is not working at all. The fact is that most of us don't love ourselves or find it difficult to love others because we find it very difficult to love ourselves. But what do I mean by loving yourself? Are you really giving yourself the best opportunity to be successful? Or are you one who beats yourself up all the time for past decisions, if you will, bad decisions in the past, or bad financial decisions, bad relationships, decisions, whatever your life might have taken the shape of. But ultimately, if you forgive yourself, this is very important, forgive yourself. You can do nothing from the past except learn from it. That's it. Learn from that mistake and move forward. But ultimately, loving yourself means giving yourself the best. And let me tell you what I see a lot of my sisters do. They'll love their children more than they love themselves. This is a mistake. I don't care what society tells you. At the end of the day, your children will grow up and leave you. This is a fact. And I'm not telling you that your children shouldn't be a priority in your life, but they should not be your number one priority. They're one priority of your life. Your life still is going to matter once your children grow up and leave. By no means don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Have those productive relationships with your children, your spouses, your significant other. It's extremely important. But ultimately, what we all have in common, be it husband, wife, or children, we're all going to die. This is just a fact. We're dealing with facts here. Fuck your feelings for the moment, okay? We're not dealing with feelings, we're dealing with fact. They're going to grow up, they're going to move on, hopefully have grandchildren, be a part of their life, the whole nine. But in the process of all that time happening, don't lose you. Many people lose themselves. What do they call them? Empty nesters? But now you're in the house by yourself. You made your children or your husband or your wife your life, and once all of that changes, you have nothing else going for you. This is a grave mistake because society, how's it set up, how they got people programmed It's to follow a certain pattern of existence, if you will. I know I'm going a little bit left here, but stay with me. But there's no law saying that you have to live your life that way. And if that law, if that way was working, let's just use some common sense here. Why is the divorce rate so high? Why are so many children juvenile delinquents? Why do we have so much violence and gun violence? Do you know the number one cause of violence in America for young people ages 15 and 19 is gun violence? I mean, really think about that. Not diabetes or, I don't know, car accidents, somebody getting shot. But what does that go back to? That goes back to the parents and how they're raised. So there are a lot of different factors that play into this. But remember, it's hard for you to hurt people when you love you. It's very difficult. When a person doesn't love themselves, it's very, very easy, almost to the point where they're unconsciously willing to hurt someone just for the mere fact they were never taught on how to love themselves. So loving yourself is the first fundamental principle that brings about the change you want to see in your life. If you don't love yourself enough to change your life, if you don't love yourself enough to put yourself with the best person available to you, how can a man say he loves you and put his hands on you? How can a woman say she loves you and she put her hands on you and disrespect you? How can your children say they love you but they disrespect you? How can you say you love your children but you don't provide for them? You see, this is the bullshit we deal with in society and no one really wants to address. So then you come up with all these other things, family courts, counselor, DFACS, and all these other institutions and agencies that we would consider an invasion of privacy. Not that they don't play a part in the system, if you will, but if people led with love, if you loved your family, if you love your wife, you love your husband, you love your children, you can only do that if you love yourself. But here's what I want to end on. Do not put their love or your love for them above the love that you have for yourself. The better off you are, the better you can love them. I'm going to say this to you again. The better off you are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, the better you can love them. So it's very hard to love yourself if you've been taught your whole life to put yourself last. They tell women put your children first. They tell men put your wife first. No one wants to be second to anything. I hope it helps.
There's one question. Next one might have a little overlap with the last one, but we'll
Sure.
see if it brings out anything new. But what can you expand on the importance on focusing on your well-being?
Your well-being. Many people are not well. Many people are simply not well. Many people wear masks. Look at me. I'm in my suit, my tie. You just look at me, and the perception that I'm giving you is that I'm professional, that everything in my life is peachy keen. That's bullshit. That's, you can deal with problems at home and still come do what you do. The fact of the matter is your well-being is critical for your overall wellness of your life. Many people are not well. Well, Mr. Johnson, how do you know people are not well? Well, when you come out in society and you see many people laying in the street hungry, homeless, when you see you're driving on the highway and you're stuck in traffic and you look to your left and you see the person in the car crying. You see a person in the car sleeping. I've seen that on 285 in the A. Trust me. They're not well. Well, why is this person not well? If he's sleeping, there must be that they're exhausted. If they're crying, there must be some type of emotional trauma going on, if you will. And of course, there could be death in the family, things of that nature. But the fact of the matter is that many people are not well. They are not well. Let me elaborate. Why is there vape shops on every corner? Why do we celebrate so much alcohol in this country? Why? People have a form of self-medication. Some people overeat to make themselves feel better. Some people spend excessive amount of time in the gym because they don't want to go home because the situation there is not well. Your well-being is the fundamental principle of your existence. You must come to understand that. And here's another one for you. No one is responsible for your well-being outside of children. Outside of children. No one's responsible for your well-being. You are. The deal is, do you value yourself enough and do you love yourself enough to make sure that you're well? Really think about it. We are in the age of information. It is time for all of us to evolve, hence evolution. We must evolve beyond the shackles of the mind that have kept us in these constraints over the last 50 years. You, by definition, have a choice. You can choose to live any kind of way you want, but it's not smart to live in poverty if that's not what you choose to do. It's not smart. But how do I wind up there? By making dumb decisions. Well, why am I making dumb decisions? Because my well-being is not well. I'm not thinking well. Hence, I'm not feeling well. Hence, I'm not speaking well. Which accumulates to this, I'm not doing well. So, your well-being is the fundamental principle of your success. Don't negate it. Now, how do I do this? It is relatively simple. Put well-being at the forefront of your mind. Am I eating healthy? Am I around good, positive people? Avoid negative and unlucky people. You ever read the 48 Laws of Power? That's one of them. Avoid unlucky and negative people. Stay away from them. Stay away from that. Don't watch things that are not helping you. Don't have a steady diet of bullshit. What is bullshit? TV, television, bullshit. None of that shit matters, man. You might sit there with your Netflix and your popcorn or whatever. Whatever. None of that shit matters. None of that shit. Listen, none of that shit matters. None of it. If anything, you're making other people rich by watching it. Focus on your well-being. Focus on your success. I hope that helps. What else we got, guys?
All right, next question is, someone asked if you could expand on when you talk about the duty of life.
The duty of life. This is a big one. What is the duty of life? What is man's duty? Well, I'm a firm believer that you should keep the commandments of God. I know a lot of people are not going to subscribe to that tenement, and I can appreciate that. That's neither here nor there for me. But to keep God's commandments is a duty that you are instructed to do. Secondly, the duty of a husband, the duty of a wife. Most people want feel-good shit. They want feel-good. I learned that in 30 years of marriage. And my wife was here in the studio with me, so I don't want you guys to think I would say something in front of you or not in front of her. Nah, she knows me. I'm all man about mine. So frankly, I don't really give a fuck. She knows that about me. She knows I love her with all my heart, but he's still a man. He's going to say what the fuck he want. And I say it like that because that's really how I feel. At the end of the day, we all have a duty. Let me put it to you this way. If you are out in the supermarket and a woman is shopping and she has 3 children with her and the 3 children look raggedy, the hair not done, they look dirty or sloppy, everyone in society, by definition, will look at that mother and prejudge her based on their perception of what they see. Right? This is just a fact. Now, let us suppose the same scenario, but this time you go to the house and there's no lights on in the house. Everyone's looking at the father. Well, why? Because we understand that the woman has a duty to raise the children and the father has a duty to provide for them. You see, we all have duties. Another word for duty is responsibility. But many people want to avoid their responsibility, which infringes upon them not performing their duty. You must understand that when you bring life into the world, when you take life or you take people into your life, there are duties and responsibilities that are given. Unfortunately, in our society, duty, responsibility, and accountability are like kryptonite to Superman. These are things that most people just don't want to deal with. But at the same time, when you have that aspect of thinking, you must take what comes with that. Hence, the prisons are filled with many young souls of men and women who, for whatever reason, duty, responsibility, and accountability have somehow escaped the forefront of the mind. That doesn't mean that all people in prison are evil people. I'm not suggesting that. But I can assure you that all of them are there based on a choice or decision that they made outside of those who are there because they're truly innocent. Everyone has a choice. You have a duty. But the first duty you must understand you have is to yourself. You have a duty as a man to be the best man possible. You have a duty as a woman to be the best woman possible. Once you become a husband, you have a duty to be the best husband you can. Once you become a wife, you have a duty to be the best wife you can. Once you two become parents, you have a collective duty to be the best parents that you can. When you get a job and you accept that job and they give you that offer letter and you walk into that building or whatever and you working for them and they're paying you, you have a duty to do your very best for them. So understand the word duty and the responsibility that it entails. Because when one understands duty, responsibility, and accountability are not very difficult to deal with. I hope it helps.
Can you talk about the phrase, time heals all wounds? Is that true?
No. People often say that time heals all wounds. I beg to differ. Time teaches you to learn to live with pain. There are certain wounds that I've never recovered from. The death of my mother. I am 56 years old. My mom passed away. I cried like I was 6. I'll never forget it. One of the most painful, if not the most painful moment of my life. Now, have I healed from it? I can't necessarily say I'm bothered by it to the fact that it destroys my psyche, but it's not times that I don't walk through my family room and I see a picture of my mother and it doesn't invoke an emotion in me. So does time heal all wounds? I know people like to use that, but I beg to differ. I just think time teaches you to learn to live with pain. And many of us are living with pain. Now, many people say you have to heal, you have to heal. Some wounds never heal. No one ever talks about that, though. It's just not a popular topic or subject. But some things will never heal. The death of your child. A woman loses her child. To tell her to heal from that, she could have other children, true enough, but she will still remember the pain she felt by losing a child. And the same with a man. So does time heal all wounds? I guess it depends on the wound and the time and who's it affecting. But in my opinion, time just teaches us to learn to live with pain. I want to talk to you a little bit about loyalty. Loyalty is a word that's thrown around in society without its true credence and definition being explored. Loyalty is something that men value greatly, just like women value love. I highly encourage you to be very particular about who you allow into your circle and who you choose to show loyalty to. This is going a little bit off topic, but I feel the need to express this. As I look at society as a whole and I see the challenges that we're facing, loyalty is in short demand, along with love and forgiveness. These things are in very, very short supply in today's society. But I want to encourage you that whomever you choose to allow into your circle, if they are worthy of your loyalty, then be a loyal person. Men value loyalty, respect, and honor, and things of that nature. Women value love and fidelity. It doesn't mean one is more important than the other. It's just a different perspective given our gender, if you will. But the fact of the matter remains that as one becomes cognitive of thought, your thoughts make the world around you. You must understand this. If you want loyal people, you must become a loyal person. It is the same rules with friends or success or with money. You will become what you think about. I'm going to say this to you again. You will become what you think about. So if I always think that people are disloyal, what do you think I'm going to draw into my life? Very disloyal people. If I always assume that all men are dogs and all men cheat, then by definition, because I believe that through the laws of creation and of God, the divine right in which we have, you must experience that. So in essence, you come to the conclusion that you, my friend, are creating your own reality based on your thoughts, how you feel, and what you think, and how you say it. You see, we are all given a voice. We're all given a choice. You can choose to be loyal. You can choose to be disloyal. You can choose to be faithful, or you can choose to be unfaithful. Understand that it always goes back to the individual responsibility of the person. You can choose. You can choose representing you. You do have a choice. But I would ask that you govern that choice with a great level of wisdom. There's a big difference between being smart and wise. 2 + 2 is 4. Most people know that you're smart. Doing the right thing consistently, even though you don't want to do it, that makes you wise. And many people fail the latter. So I hope that helps. But the importance of loyalty cannot be understated, nor the importance of fidelity, respect, and honor. These things might be somewhat antiquated for the young, and for the old, it might be something that's somewhat rhetorical. You've heard it many times before. But it does not negate the importance of the word, nor what the words represent. So be a loyal person, and most important, be loyal to yourself. I hope it helps.
Now, you mentioned in our producer meeting before that you had some comments on the BET Awards.
Man, fuck BET. I got to go in my black man mode now. Hey, yo. What the fuck, man? What are we doing? I'm almost 60 years old. You can call me OG, old head. I give two shits, man. When you put in front of the world millions of people across the globe, the imagery of black people like that, yo, you destroying us, man. You destroying us. And everyone who participates in a negative way. Not all of it. I don't want to just be a general statement, but a lot of it is trash, man. Why all the women gotta be coming across the stage half-ass naked? Nobody want to see your birth canal, yo. I don't want to see that, man. I got grandchildren. They might like this or whatever. I don't even let them watch that. It's trash, man. It's trash. And I know a lot of people are saying it. I'm going to say it too. Yo, this is trash. And to the people that own that network, yo, fuck you. I said it. Fuck you. And you know what you doing. You know the agenda you pushing forward in society. So then when we go overseas and travel, that's how they see us, man. That's how they see us. That's how they see our queens. That's how they see our brothers, man. And you can say what the fuck you want, but you know I'm telling the truth. A hit dog gonna fucking holler. A hit dog gonna holler. It's trash. Just trash. It's trash. It's trash. All of it's trash, man. And what bothers me, what troubles me, is our participation in it. We don't need BET. Start our own shit. Fuck BET. They ain't your friends, man. They are destroying the very culture of Black America. I said it. I'm not saying it for clicks, likes, follows. I'm saying this as a black man. What happened to class, man? What happened to being classy with this shit? The women looking elegant and beautiful. The men handsome and dapper and sharp. What the fuck, man? How y'all going along with this shit? What the fuck? For some money? For some money. For some money, some notoriety? Yo, fuck them. They don't give a fuck about us, man. And what's fucked up is that we willing to participate in that bullshit. Let me settle down. I still can be gully when I need to be. I don't like to be. I'm older now. It raises the blood pressure. But what I saw was so fucking vile and disgusting. It made me ashamed to be a black man. Some people are gonna get online. I know they're gonna say some dumb shit. I'm used to it. You know, somebody gonna say some bullshit, whatever. But think about it. Really think about it. Is this the image that you want the world to see? Is what are you shaking your ass, twerking? How does that benefit your family? What's that say about your mother, your father? What's that say about the imagery you put out to your children? I'm starting to believe that black people don't give a fuck about black people. Don't give 2 cents about black people. We give a fuck about sports. Who scored the latest touchdown? How high a motherfucker can jump? Yo, fuck that too, man. None of that shit means nothing. Have you seen the condition of our people? Have you seen it? How we kill each other for sport? Like it's a fucking game? And the first thing we're gonna do is go run and blame the white man? Fuck that. Ain't no white man making us kill each other. Ain't no white man making you stand on that goddamn stage and shake your ass like some fucking whore. The fuck? That's right, I said it. Ain't no white man letting you promote killing each other in the music. You choose that shit. Even if they tell you this is what we want you to sing about, you have a choice whether to do it or not. The sad part is if you don't, they find another motherfucker who will. He'll get up there and do it. Don't you see it's a self-destructive cycle? How can you not see that shit? How can you not see we're destroying ourselves? How can you not see that shit? I remember when we called each other brother and sister. I remember when education mattered. I remember when you respected your elders. I remember when being a mother meant something, being a father meant something. I remember we prided ourselves as black people to get a good education because we were denied it for so long. I remember when the sisters, the ladies dressed it like beautiful women. Now all the girls got their titties out, their ass out, showing their birth canal. All the dudes now wearing their pants off their ass. What the? Yo, man, our ancestors rolled over in their fucking grave, man. They rolling over in their grave, bruh. Am I telling you not to move the culture forward? Of course not. We are the culture, man. Don't you see? Everybody want to be us. Everybody want to be us, man. How the fuck you don't see that shit? Every commercial, hip hop, rap, hip hop. That's us, man. That's us. Fashion, that's us. Music, that's us. That's all us. And yet we don't own a goddamn thing. How long we gonna be some suckers? How long we gonna be on this sucker ass shit? Because that's what it is. It's some sucker ass shit, man. BET. Black Evil Television. BET. Black evil television. I'm Mr. Johnson. Have a blessed and prosperous day. Peace.